What's up, guys? This is MrYetininja coming at you with a ban list prediction. So, everyone else was posting these, so I figured I'd go ahead and jump on that bandwagon and post my own. If you want to hear the explanation, feel free to watch the whole video in its entirety, but if you are short on time or just get bored of the video, the actual list is just going to be in the description down below, so you can go ahead and look at that and feel free to post your comments, concerns, or arguments. I'm sure I could probably convince you that some of these choices are actually pretty good ones. So, first of all, banned. There's only one card, and you probably already know what it is. Future Fusion. Future Fusion is just way, way, way too powerful when Five-Headed Dragon. That is a proxy. I apologize for using proxies in the video, but I did not have every card I'm going to be talking about in this video, so I had to make do with some proxies. While Five-Headed Dragon is legal, Dragon decks can use this as a 5-in-1 Foolish Burial. That is just way too good. But then you gotta be thinking, well, only Dragon decks can abuse it, right? Well, no, because heroes can also use it with cards like Absolute Zero, especially the Destiny hero builds. They'll just use Future Fusion, send a Water hero and a Destiny hero, because Absolute Zero just says one hero monster, and I doubt I'm gonna get this thing able to focus. My camera sucks at focusing close up, but if you read Zero's materials, it just says one hero monster and one water monster, so he's pretty good for heroes, I'm guessing. It just turns Miracle Fusion instantly live, and it's just too good a card to just completely leave alone. But that's the only thing on the ban list that's getting banned. Most of what is going to be on here is going to be in the limited section, and starting that off, I'm starting it with Inzektor Centipede. Well, Inzektor Centipede. Why not Hornet? Why not Dragonfly? Well, let's just talk about these guys for a second. Hornet, if you ban it, you kill the deck. If you limit it, you don't do anything, because it doesn't work that well. If you limit this, they can do all the plays they could normally do, but they would just be doing it a lot less safely. Like, you DD Crow this, it temporarily stops the deck, but then all they gotta do is make Leviair, and then this guy's back. So it really doesn't do that much for the deck, so we can rule out Hornet. Dragonfly, all he does is just get another guy. So he gives the deck Exceed plays. That's good, but with Centipede lying around, you can do an OTK, and Konami does not like OTKs lying around. So you can get the guy that can search out any Inzektor card, or you can hit the guy that just makes Exceeds. Thing is, you can only do this play once. After that, you're just searching a Dragonfly, and you gotta get a Hopper or a Gigamantis or something. So the deck can still function, but it won't be nearly as destructive with just one Centipede. Next up is Rescue Rabbit to 1. Rescue Rabbit turns into an auto-exceed, just like Tour Guide did. And Tour Guide is also on here. We'll be getting to her shortly, but one card that turns into a big card doesn't work too well in a format. It just doesn't. Rescue Rabbit turns into any rank 2, 3, or 4 exceed. It would be a rank 1, but they don't have one that only requires 2 level 1s yet, so that's where Rescue Rabbit kind of bums out. It's just level 1, but the fact that this turns into any exceed for just playing normal monsters is pretty good. So we gotta limit this, because you can still use Rescue Rabbit because of Leviair. You just go to Leviair, and then you bring him back, and then you get your other guys. Okay, Darkness Metal to 1. Here's the thing. Because of the Heretic OTK with Gustav Max, you gotta hit either Darkness Metal or a Tomb. Hitting Darkness Metal does a lot less damage than hitting a Tomb does, because if you hit a Tomb, you kill Heretics. If you hit Darkness Metal, Heretics still have a Swarm capability, and Chaos Dragons can still use Light Pulsar and loop around this Darkness Metal. Most most of the Chaos Dragon decks that I've seen only play 2 Darkness Metal anyway, so limiting this guy wouldn't do too much damage. The only Exceed on the ban list here is Zenmaity to 1. Zenmaity over Rat or Hunter on this ban list is for this reason mainly. You ban Hunter, all you do is stop their hand loop. They still have their Swarm loop, which seems to do a little bit more damage than their hand loop, honestly. Getting over these, like, 1,500 guys isn't too hard. You have to top deck and out to it, but it's not incredibly hard for most decks. However, getting rid of all these 2,000 plus beaters is kind of a problem. If you limit Zenmaity, then they can still use him, get Rat, switch to defense, bring out another level 3 wind-up or Shark or something, and then you can just overlay them and do another Exceed other than the Zenmaity. So this takes care of their loops, and it still gives them enough competitiveness that they can still function. Emergency Call. This is probably a choice you're not going to see on too many ban lists, but E-Call is just a card that it's going to slow heroes down. They just won Worlds. They need to lose something. Future Fusion, not all decks are going to be running. E-Call, every hero deck's running in 3s, okay? Heroes are going off of, like, 10, 15 card decks 15 card monster card decks. That's kind of ridiculous. We should make it where they need to play more monsters, or they need to find other speed for their deck, because they have 4 search cards just to search out a Stratos. That's kind of good. So, limit Emergency Call. Forbidden Lance to 1. That's a call you're not going to see on a whole lot of ban lists either. Why Forbidden Lance? It is an extremely good generic card. This card it protects your monster until the end of the turn, or it gives you that little extra push that lets you get over your opponent's boss monster. It's just way too good. Especially since 2 sets from now, we get this card called Forbidden Garments. It's kind of a bad picture in real life, and I can't imagine it'd be much better on camera, but Forbidden Garments, if you haven't heard of this card or don't know what it does, it's a card that's going to come out later, and it reduces the targeted monster's attack by 600, but in exchange, they cannot be targeted or destroyed by any card effect until the end of the turn. That's pretty good, and that's a adequate replacement for this. I'm just saying that seems to fit the bill. Forbidden Lance is really good, and it kind of does need to take a hit. It's just like what they did with Book of Moon. It didn't need the hit, but it's a good card. Lastly, for limited is One Day of Peace. One Day of Peace is kind of a poorly designed card. It's not a neg-1 the way the math would show for it. It's, I'm going to use this card to draw another card. And I'm also not going to take any damage until my next turn. So, at the price of that, I'll let you have a card. It's a 2 for 2, in all honesty. And with decks like Final Countdown flying around here, like, if Final Countdown can be tier, then we need to take some stuff away from it. It's just ridiculous that a deck can't win in 20 turns. You know? It just seems that way to me. I'm sorry, but... Okay, moving on. Semi-limited, Lonefire Blossom. both of the good tuners are banned right now. So why not have this card at 2? Spore's banned, and Glow Up Bulb is banned. So this card's only real targets are Gigaplant and Titanial. You know, you guys could just make a plant, some plant support and make an Exceed deck out of it, right? I'm just saying, you're making random rock support. You could probably take an extra step and make some plant stuff. Seems like a good idea to me. TG Striker to 2. You guys were trying to take out TG Agents, which you very successfully did by limiting this card. The problem is you also limited Earth, so, I mean, that was just a little bit of a too strong a hit. You unintentionally hit TG Stun and just any deck that runs a TG engine with this. This card, it's good, but it's not so good that it just has to be at 1. We really should see some more stun decks to combat the meta, and bringing this guy back would kind of encourage that. Plus, it would give agents a little extra help to at least come back into the format. Like, they aren't even tier 2 with how bad they were hit. I mean, we can give them back something, right? Okay. Like I said, she is in this video. Tour Guide of the Underworld to 2. The reason why we semi-limit Tour Guide instead of banning Sangan is because of this. When Tour Guide is at 2, that means you have 2 Tour Guides, okay? So it's either going to be Tour Guide grabs Tour Guide, exceed into rank 3, or it's going to be, oh, I drew into Tour Guide, so I'm going to use Tour Guide, grab Sangan, and then overlay into a rank 3. Okay. Excuse me. Now what? Alright, so now I'm waiting to draw into that second Tour Guide, and then, oh, I Tour Guide into, oh wait, there isn't a 4th target unless I add one. You see the problem? So, either people are going to be playing a less consistent Tour Guide engine, or they're only going to be playing double Tour Guide. It really does kind of solve the problem. This card's good, but it can be fairly easily stopped, and once it's stopped, it's not hard to kill. Oh, and if they are playing just the double Tour Guide, then you stop the 1, you kill the engine. They've got a dead draw waiting to happen. Drag Down to the Grave to 2. This card is just like Royal Tribute. Okay? You just set all the cards you don't want your opponent seeing, and then with this, you make them discard a card you want to have discarded, so you get a 1-for-1 off that. And then you get rid of a problem card. And then you see their hand, and then you get an extra card on top of it. It's a good card. Let's give it a hit. I mean, it deserves it. Come on, guys. And for Unlimited, there is only one card, and that is Destiny Hero Malicious. Destiny Heroes haven't seen play in anything, so why don't we give them back? Like, there was initially a little boost in Destiny Hero playability at the very, very, very beginning of the format, but it didn't go anywhere. And Malicious would work with Exceeds, alright? He's in the graveyard, okay? So you banish him, and then you get out another guy, make a level 6, or summon another level 6, exceed into rank 6. Rank 6 effect, detach. Oh look, Malicious is in the grave now. Banish, bring up Malicious. I mean, it just seems like a card that would work with Exceeds, and it's a card that doesn't really need to be on the ban list anymore. So yeah, you can go ahead and let me know what you thought of the ban list. That's really all there is to say, and yeah. Mr. Yetininja, ban list predictions. Peace out, YouTube.